Did Andrea Riseborough steal her Oscar nomination from another actress? Here's my review of To Leslie. British actress Andrea Riseborough stuns in To Leslie. This is the type of role I imagine all of these actresses would they fight for tooth and nail. These are the stories that I imagine they want to tell. And so I understand why so many actresses, so many people in Hollywood came out swinging for her to be nominated for this particular role. Andrea Riseborough's performance in To Leslie is masterful as an insolvent West Texas wanderer going from pillar to post, starving for her next alcoholic fix, drowning in the shallow end of a vodka bottle. Andrea Riseborough is a British actor. She gives one of the best performances of the year. There is no indication of her accent, of her British accent. She nails the West Texan accent and gives one of the best performances of the year. She completely disappears, and she reminds me a lot of Charlize Theron's turn in Monster, and she reminds me of Christian Bale in The Fighter, and I think that's why she was nominated. Of course, there was a lot of groundswell because her fellow actors have, really swung for her to be nominated, because I can imagine that this is the role they fight tooth and nail for. These are the stories they want to tell. This is a role that I just imagine they want to play. They want to perform these types of roles. She really dug deep in her soul and delivered one of the best performances of the year. She really did, and she deserves to be here. I don't believe that Andrea Riseborough stole her nomination, quote unquote, stole her nomination from any other actress. Now, is the Best Leading Actress category habitually dominated by white actresses year after year after year after year? It is, including this year. The only woman of color that was nominated this year is Michelle Yeoh. The for-your consideration campaigns are cutthroat. They really go hard. A lot of it is nasty and icky, but these are selected by ranked choice voting by 1,138 or so this branch of actors within the Academy. And so Leslie had a good ground game. I don't think she should be the target or the face, down the road, years later, of the one who stole this away from Viola or Danielle Deadwyler or any other actress. There were phenomenal performances this year. It was a really competitive year, and I really do wish that Viola and Danielle could have made it in. But and for me, honestly, I believe that Michelle Williams should have probably been in Best Supporting, and I particularly didn't like Ana de Armas's performance in Blonde, because I didn't like Blonde. I thought it was predatory, and I love Marilyn Monroe and her legacy, and so I thought that was a little gross for my taste. But she got the votes, and so she's in. I get it. That's the game. Those are their rules. That's the game. That's how the sausage is really made. And nobody really wants to discuss this because it's embarrassing. It is embarrassing that the Academy has never had an Asian actress win this category, or hasn't had a black actress win since Halle Berry 21 years ago. It's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. That's just the truth about it. That said, this shouldn't be a target on Andrea Riseborough's part, because her performance is worthy of a nomination, even though a lot of people haven't seen this movie. Back to the performance. Andrea disappears in this role, and so much is conveyed without saying it, without the over exposition. But let's talk about it. So she wins a $190,000 lottery in Texas, and within 6 years becomes bankrupt. So she has this young son who wants to be a musician, and there's a throwback later in the scene because she buys him a guitar because she's really encouraging him to, do what he loves. But because she's an alcoholic, because she is addicted to alcohol, she burns through her money. She drinks through this $190,000 and becomes a wanderer, really, again, going from pillar to post. But there's this scene in the beginning that is gut wrenching. So she's in this bar, and you can tell that she'll do anything. And I know I don't have to over explain that. She'll do anything for somebody to buy her next round. So she's in this bar and she's sort of being provocative in her way, in this vagabond way. And she knows really quick that she's getting the attention of some really bad guys, this really group of guys, a really bad group of guys. She's getting their attention. And it's a mistake, but she really wants this round. And then there's a next scene moments later where her eye is black and you know what happened. That scene is, that's what I mean. That scene, you know what happened to her, but it doesn't wash over her really, because you know in this moment, without them over exaggerating the scene, without them over exaggerating the moment, what happened to her, and that it likely happens to her a lot because she's bankrupt, she's insolvent, she has no money, and the only way she can get to her next vodka bottle is by doing what she has to do to get it. And I just thought that was a masterful scene. There's some scenes with her son where, she knows that she's done him wrong and she knows that he's better off without her. I think she reaches her bottom a little too soon. Of course, this is a film and we had to get there eventually. I just think it was a little too commercialized. And there's this one scene, this scene will gut you, where Leslie's sitting at the bar and Willie Nelson's Are You There comes on. And she's just, having her happy time, drowning in her vodka, and the song starts to sink in and she starts to become present in the song and realizes that it's actually speaking to her. That scene will gut you. She's so good in this film. Here's the thing. There is a chunk of the ending in that final act where it just seemed unrealistic that, she quits cold turkey and she reunites with her son. And there's this moment where she is triggered and wants to she hadn't been drinking for, weeks, and she's triggered and she steals this flask from one of her business partners now, because she's gone into business. It's very organic, but she's gone into business with this former addict, and she steals his flask and she's triggered and is considering drinking and doesn't. I thought that wasn't realistic. It's very commercialized, and I can imagine if I wrote this, I would not have put that in, but I know that there would have been a note to say we need a happier ending. This was written by Ryan Bonaco. I'm almost certain that he didn't write that ending originally. That wasn't in one of his first drafts, I can imagine, because it just felt a little commercialized. But that does not diminish how great Andrea Riseborough is in this film. She deserves this nomination. She is so great. So, in essence, in a nutshell, I do not believe that that she stole this nomination like it's going around on film Twitter. She is deserving of this nomination, and could she win? I really don't think. I think it is time. It is time for the glass ceiling breaker Michelle Yeoh to be honored with an Oscar for what she did in Everything Everywhere All at Once. But she has a lot of competition. Obviously, the great Kate Blanchett and Andrea Riseborough. All things considered, they gave out of the category the best performances who are nominated out of the nominees. They gave the best performances. It's just time. It's time. It's past time to have an Asian actress win this category. And who better than Michelle Yeoh, who gave an outstanding performance in Everything Everywhere All at Once.